कृतकील्बिषेऽस्मि तवावतार फलनिग्रहाय रिपोसुतानामपि तुल्यदृष्टि तत्सेदमं फलमेवानुशंसन. Translation: The wives of the Kalya serpent say, the punishment this offender has been subjected to is certainly just. After all, you have incarnated within this world to curb down envious and cruel person. You are so impartial that you look equally upon your enemies and your own sons. For when you impose a punishment on a living being, you know it to be for his ultimate benefit. अनुग्रहोऽयं भवतः कृतो हिनो दण्डो सतां ते खलु कल्मषापः यद्दण्डशुकत्वममुष्य देहिनः क्रोधोऽपि तेऽनुग्रह एव सम्मतः. What you have done here is actually mercy for us, since the punishment you give to the wicked certainly drives away all their contamination. Indeed, because this conditioned soul, our husband, is so sinful that he has assumed the body of a serpent, your anger towards him is obviously to be understood as your mercy. तपसुतप्तं किमनेन पूर्वं निरस्तमानेन च मानदेन धर्मोऽर्थवा सर्वजनानुकम्पया यतो भवास्तु शति सर्वजीवः. Did our husband carefully perform austerities in a previous life with his mind free of pride and full of respect for others? Is that why you are pleased with him? Or did he is in some previous existence carefully execute religious duties with compassion for all living beings? And is that why you, the life of all living beings, are now satisfied with him? Shloka 36. कस्यानुभावोऽस्य न देव विद्महे तवाङ्घ्रिरेणु स्पर्शाधिकारः यद्वाञ्छया श्रीललनाचरतपो विहाय कामान् सुचिरं धृतव्रता. O Lord, we do not know how the serpent Kalya has attained this great opportunity of being touched by the dust of your lotus feet. For this end, the goddess of fortune performed austerities of 4 centuries, giving up all other desires and observing austere vows. न नाकपृष्ठं न च सार्वभौमं न पारमेष्ट्यं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धिर्पुनर्भवं वा वाञ्छन्ति यत्पादरजप्रपन्ना. To who have attained the dust of your lotus feet, those who have attained the dust of your lotus feet never hanker for the kingship of heaven, limitless sovereignty, the position of Brahma, or rulership over the earth. They are not interested even in the perfection of yoga or in liberation itself. तदेशनाथाय दुरापमन्यसे तमोजनिक्रोधवशोऽप्यहीशः संसारचक्रे भ्रमता शरीरिणो यदीच्छित स्याद् विभव समक्षः. O Lord, although this Kalya, the king of the serpents, has taken birth in the mode of ignorance and is controlled by anger, he has achieved that which is difficult for others to achieve. Embodied souls who are full of desire and are thus wandering in the cycle of birth and death can have all benedictions manifested before their eyes simply by receiving the dust of your lotus feet. 39. नमस्तुभ्यं भगवते पुरुषाय महात्मने भूतावासाय भूताय पराय परमात्मने. We offer our obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although present in the heart of all living beings, as a super soul. You are all pervasive, although the original shelter of all created material elements. You exist prior to their creation, and although the cause of everything, you are the transcendental to all material cause and effect, being the super soul. ज्ञानविज्ञाननिषदे निधये ब्रह्मणेऽनन्तशक्तये अगुणाय विकाराय नमस्ते प्राकृताय च. Obeisancy unto you, the absolute truth, who are the reservoir of all transcendental consciousness and potency, and the possessor of unlimited energies, although completely free of material qualities and transformations, you are the prime mover of material nature. कालाय कालनाभाय कालावयवसाक्षिणे विश्वाय तदुपद्रष्टे तत्कर्त्रे विश्वहेतवे. Obeisance unto you who are time itself, the shelter of time and the witness of time in all its phases. You are the universe and also its separate observer. You are its creator and also the totally of all its causes. भूतमात्रेन्द्रिय प्राण मनोबुद्धया शक्यात्मने त्रिगुणेनाभिमानेन गुणस्वात्मानुभूतये नमोऽनन्ताय सूक्ष्माय नमोऽनन्ताय सूक्ष्माय कुटस्थाय विपश्चिते नानावादनुरोधाय वाचकशक्तये. Obeisance unto you who are the ultimate soul of the physical elements, of the subtle basics of perception, of the senses, of the vital air of life, and of the mind, intelligence, and consciousness. By your arrangement, the infinitesimal spirit soul falsely identify with the three modes of material nature, and their perception of their own true self thus become clouded. We offer our obeisances unto you, the unlimited Supreme Lord, the supremely subtle one, the omniscient personality of Godhead, who are always fixed in unchanging transcendence, who sanctions the opposite views of different philosophies, and who are the power upholding express ideas and the words that express them. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai ho. Thank you, Prabhuji, for so wonderful seva. Sorry for the mistakes.
Hare Krishna. So, should I start the recap, Prabhu? Yes. Hare Krishna. Am I audible, Prabhu?
Yes.
Okay. I will start. Om Vishnu Padaya Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swaram Rupa Kadamayam Vadati Swapadankitam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganadilitam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Tam Sajitam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Ushakavitam Shri He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Goptakanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya कृपासिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठकी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear all. Welcome to today's refreshing, recapping session, and today's exciting session also lined up. Just give me a minute to set this. Just 1 minute. I will start the recap. Yes. Okay. Hope you all can see the screen. So yesterday Mataji completed lesson 49. Oh, sorry. Lesson 49, which is chapter 15, certain portion. Sorry, chapter 16, verses 19 to 30 was done yesterday, and chapter 16, verses 31 to 46. This is actually Krishna Kaliya Daman Leela, which is part 2 of 3. That was done yesterday, and Mataji sang some of the beautiful verses. We'll rehash them today. Okay. Now, I know we have very less time today, so I might skip asking question. I will just ask question where very important, where there is very important part, so that all can participate. For others, I will just go through quickly. Right. So yesterday's session started where all the Vrajvasis are heading towards Yamuna River, or the part of that bank of Yamuna River where Krishna has been captured by Kaliya. And the Vrajvasis, they saw the unauspicious sign, so they got to know that something has happened to their dearest, their prana, which is Krishna. So they all moved there. They all ran there, and they were worried that okay, today Balram is not there, and today these unauspicious signs are there. Something has gone wrong, and to their um, fears coming true, when they saw from a distance that Krishna, when they reached a lake, and from a distance they saw Krishna was motionless and was in the coil of that black serpent. And they also saw so many cowherd boys and the animals and cows. They were like, crying out for Krishna very, very piteously. And for that, there are two cha used here, where cha, first cha, like in the Sanskrit, represent the boys, and the second one indicates all the birds and animals were crying, and they saw across many, many, children lying unconscious, or for them, they thought they are dead, so they were trying to awaken them and ask, what has happened? How did Krishna go there? Who called Krishna? So they were in a very, very piteous state, right? Then some of the, now let's have a question here. So many of the elderly gopis, they tried to, okay, the question here is then, what did the gopis who were very, very dear to Krishna, what did they try to do when they saw their Krishna in this state, and they thought that they would lose him? So what did they do? It's highlighted here. Anybody wants to? So what does the gopi remember and feel when they saw Krishna in grip of Kaliya? That's a question.
Hare Krishna Prabhupada. One point could be like they remember the Leelas of Krishna.
Yes.
Okay. So that yesterday we discussed that even such a difficult times in our life also we should remember the Krishna Leelas. That is a point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly, Prabhuji. You brought that point home. That's what they did, and then that's what is a takeaway lesson for us also here, right? And very very nice explanation on this slide and nice points. Would definitely encourage you all to read later. But today, because we're short of time, we move quickly. So now moving to next slide. So here, this is about the elderly Gopi. The previous slide was the young Gopis. They were also as much sad or like in sorry in anguish, but they thought of also of one more thing. They also wanted to protect Mother Yashoda from going into the Yamuna and giving her life. So they were holding Mother Yamuna. Sorry, Mother Yashoda. My bad, my Mother Yashoda. Right. So now, how are they convincing Mother Yashoda and making her stay calm? Right? Anybody wants to take a quick take here? We have highlighted this here.
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
They told Yashoda that Krishna is very powerful and वहाँ कुछ भी नहीं, उनको कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता. He has killed many Rakshas, Aghasar, Putna, all these. So Kalia sir can do nothing, and he is safe.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. That's correct. Exactly. So they were narrating the topics to pacify Mother Yashoda, and that the fact is Lord Krishna is Vraja. Yeah, so that katha is Vraja Priya Katha. They always sing about the glories of the Lord, which is again like a takeaway for us to always. So next slide now. Here we again Lord Balram. He is also laughing. He's smiling. Why? Because he knows the power of the Lord, and he understands, what is Kaliya for Lord Krishna. He can easily, so he knows, and he is in that state. So he tries to stop Nand Maharaj, because Nand Maharaj also going to Yamuna River and to save him, and he might lose his life also. So that's why he's trying to remind him what was the prediction of Gargacharya. That, hey, Nand Baba, please remember, Gargacharya said that your son will be the one who will save you from all the obstacles. So keep that in mind, and also be patient. Now, if you go to the water and drown yourself, who will take care of Krishna when he's back? So stay here and wait. Don't neglect Garg's order, and you will have to take care of Krishna. Nothing will happen. So by saying that, he was convincing and consoling Nand Baba. Then next slide here. In this we hear that Krishna is in the coils of the serpent. The question here is, well, actually, I will not ask this as a question. I would just mention this, that Kaliya, here it is mentioned that now Krishna remained in the coils for, I think, 40 minutes or so, 3 Muhurats. I don't exactly remember that. Yeah, some 40 minutes or so. But then because his own near and dear ones, which is the Vrajvasis and all, they were getting so much anxiety. So he thought, okay, now let me give up. This is going too much for them. So he stood up and started standing on the Kaliya. Now, because of his heavy weight, because he actually generally the body of Krishna is described so soft that the Vrajvasis are always worried. But when Krishna wants, that can happen. Like, he can be heavier than heaviest, he can be lighter than the lightest. So he quickly freed himself. Now the question is, okay, why was then he doing all this? He was simply imitating the behavior of ordinary mortals. So here it is mentioned here, he simply followed the worldly customs of being unable to free himself from the loving embrace. So he was also giving a chance to Kaliya to give him that loving embrace, right? So in a way, 2 things are being achieved here. One is it's a Leela. He's a perfect actor, so he's perfectly acting like a mortal, but then he quickly releases himself. Kaliya becomes angry. There are 2 aspects mentioned here. One is, of course, from the material perspective, is because he lost that control over Krishna. Other aspect is he lost a beautiful embrace of the Lord. I mean, just imagine who in the world, just by chanting the glories together of the Lord, we get so much bliss. If we get embrace of the Lord, what would it be like? It will be amazing. Probably we can't even imagine. So losing that will makes even gopis angry. So this is Kalia, of course, like he will also become. It will make anyone angry. So that's what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says here. The next part, that now Krishna is saying, "Hey Kalia, you made me see everything about your prowess. Like you applied your full power, but Krishna just by a portion of his power, then Kalia now will become. We'll see that. We'll see what. So now I, though a little boy of cowherd community, am going to show you a fraction of my power. Now watch this. So he also now getting ready for the next. So that's this slide. Then we quickly go to slide 7. Now I will ask a question here. This is about Kalia, who is applying all his might here. So why did Kalia feel the pain, right? Why did he feel painful? Although it was Lord Krishna who is so soft. Can anyone want to try? Acha Mataji, you did?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Yes.
क्योंकि भगवान ने अपना वजन बढ़ा दिया, एक्सपांड कर लिया अपने आप को, तो उसकी वजह
Yes.
से कालिया को बहुत ही पेन होने लगा।
Correct. And Kalia was in that material consciousness. So that's what they're saying, that word Atma here indicates that Kalia identified too much with his material body. And so he felt extreme pain. So this is one takeaway we see, that as long as we identify ourselves with the material body, then we feel this pain and pleasure, the duality, right? But the moment we get into the real understanding that we are the soul and we are part and parcel of Krishna, we are meant to serve him, then the material things subside and don't disturb us. So then the other aspect from our Acharya is, the real meaning is that the snake did not actually feel the pain, but he was angry because of affection, because Krishna quickly separated from his embrace. That's what we covered in the last slide also. Right. So now we'll move next here. Again, I will not ask a question, just to rehash this slide here. This is all now Krishna has come into the mood. He wants to have a game with Kalia. So he's going around in circle, and yesterday Mataji gave that very good example of that full Jadi in Diwali. So he's going so fast that Kalia's head is like, he's feeling that dizziness. That's what happens to us also. Now, but this is a very, very powerful snake, but that's what Krishna can cause him also, like a very, very weak. In front of Krishna, he's nothing, right? So that's why he's feeling that dizziness, and the agility of Krishna frustrated the Kalia. So he's like, where should I bite this guy? How should I trouble him? So he's already feeling tired and exhausted because of the weight of Lord. Now the Lord is circling across and making him feel dizzy. So he is just having his pastime or fun. So that's it. Then next slide. The question here will be, why did Krishna's lotus feet getting exceedingly reddish? Right? And does anyone want to try? Why are his feet throughout this pastime, why are they getting extremely reddish?
Due to touching of the jewels on Kalia's
yes, due to touching, because Lord Krishna's feet are very, very soft, and then as they are touching the jewels, so they are turning reddish, and that's also giving pleasure to see. Now, I will make the question and answer it, because I will take only 6 more minutes here. So, question here is, what are the 3 reasons of Krishna dancing? That's the question I don't know. So Krishna is now preparing, and he did this Bharatnatyam dance and then Tandav as well. So different dancing. So why is he doing that? So one,
dancing on his head revealed Krishna's beauty, his absorption in dancing and his skill. This is great auspicious for Kalia, having a guru.
and grow. This is also here. There is also
And
further.
then his remarkable dance skill was meant to please the young gopis. The stage of their relationship were seriously falling in love.
Correct.
Purva
So
Raga.
yeah, that's a main hidden reason. He's giving a hint to
Yeah.
the gopis that
Yeah.
hey, wait
It is a-
there. Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Then that this is coming through. This is a prelude, and we will also be dancing together. Who are falling? These gopis are in stage of Purva Raga. They are falling in love with Krishna. So next now. Yeah. Now all the heavenly denizens are coming and they are also offering obeisances and gifts and homages in like prayers in different form that is mentioned here. Everybody danced, but Apsaras, they showered the flower but did not dance. Generally, Apsara also dances, but here their own guru, the guru of dancing, well, not there, but the guru of the whole universe, the master, the original Adi, master of dancing is dancing. So they did not dance because one is gratitude and awe and reverence. Other is they don't want to miss this also. They want to see Krishna. So if they dance, how will they miss that? So that's another, right? Now, what is the impression that Krishna is giving to gopis? Again, the same part. He's telling gopis that we will also dance together quickly in some time, and that will be during the Rasa dance. So we'll meet sometime in future and dance together. So that's the message he gave to gopis. Right. So then now slide 12 here. Here it is explained that Kalia had 1,000 heads, of which 101 were prominent, and Krishna would smash all of them if they tried to rise. So again, so much fortunate is Kalia, right? All his impurities are being cleaned away or purified by the Lord through his lotus feet dancing. And that's how Krishna will do to all of us aspiring devotees as well. As in, when we think we are in trouble, we do panic. That's at least I do. But that's actually mercy of the Lord, as the Acharya explained, that he is actually purifying us. So that should be the right thought process or intent here. So here, that's about here. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti, he explains here that one of his head, when for Kalia, if his head would not bow down, and Krishna would suddenly smash that stubborn head with his feet. Blood will flow profusely from Kalia's mouth and nostrils. So actually, the Lord is purifying him. So we continue with that. Now, I will ask a question here. So finally, how did Krishna give benefit to the snake? Here it is, if anybody wants to try that. How is Krishna finally giving that benefit? What is he doing to Kalia?
Krishna made a snake to give up all his faults, which were in his nature.
Yes.
And he gave benefit to the snake.
That's how he gave it. So that's what we'll hear more today. By nature, as a snake, Kalia is envious. And I think there will be a good debate on that. But Krishna, with his mercy, made him give up that. Right? And then the demigods also are looking at this and they are worshipping and praising the Lord. That's what we cover. Okay? Moving ahead quickly. So now, here the Nagapatnis are coming in and they are trying to pacify the Lord. Now these Nagapatnis, or the wives of Kalia, they are already devotees, right? And through why they were devotees, as it was explained yesterday, because they heard the qualities of the Lord, the Kirtan of the Lord through none other but Anantashesh, the expansion of Lord Balram, right? So they heard from them, and that's why they became devotees. And through them, actually, the seed of this Bhakti Lata Peach, the seed of devotion, was sown into Kalia as well. But that seed did not sprout well. Why is that? So that is a question here. Why did the seed of devotion did not sprout well in Kalia? Does anybody want to take a try?
Yes, Prabhuji. Because
ma'am.
of his cruel behavior and offenses done in the previous life.
Correct, correct. So that is how it is. And then that is a learning for us. The more aprad we do, then the more blockage we have in the growth of bhakti. So like Chaitanya and Mataji explained and in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that we have to be the gardener and we have to weed out, pull out those weed of anarthas. The other way is the Lord's mercy, like which we will get in some time and we are getting also. So the Lord's lotus feet, Kalia's offense was neutralized and the seed of devotion began to sprout. So that's what happened here. Now the prayers of Nagapatnis, which Raksha Mataji so beautifully sang today. They were so wonderful, Mataji. So they are in two sections here. The highlights of the hymn offered and how did they offer, that we'll go through. They express their distress and they are in agreement with the Lord's just punishment, and then they ask for the mercy. So, and then they are surprised that, oh, what has our husband done to get this so wonderful mercy? So we'll read that part. So here they read about this. This is the prayers which Mataji also read, so I won't read this again here. But to summarize quickly, what Sanatan Goswami and Jiva Goswami say, that though Krishna was pleased with Kalia's surrender, but just to show greatness of his wife and thus to give special mercy to them, he did not give up his position on the snake. So he continued to stay. He did not give up that position because many times, or most of the time, Lord wants his devotees to be glorified more than him. So that's why he was waiting. And then when they saw, now initially these Nagapatnis, they thought that our husband is such a, atheistic, such a rascal that he should be killed and then we will become widows, and we will fully surrender to the Lord. This is that what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explaining. But later on, when they saw, because of all how Krishna danced on him and everything, his pride is gone, and now Sanchari Bhav and humility and remorse, regret, doubt, they all have appeared, they were manifest. So now they feel, oh, how fortunate we are, our husband has now become Vaishnava. Therefore, we must try to save him. So they felt affection for him and they felt repentant, and now they want to try to save their husband. So with that, they went praying to the Lord. They first glorified his descent. They said, the reason for you coming here is Paritrana Sadhuna Vinashaya Chadushkutan. So to kill these envious people. So, and you have equal vision for everyone. So your punishment is for the ultimate benefit. So they are glorifying and they're saying, yes, that is your punishment is right. And then they pacify his anger. They approve the punishment. They said, yes, again, that's right. And I think we learn a lot how to deal in this situation here. And your punishment is actually the mercy. Indeed, our husband is sinful and he has so many offenses. But however, they are saying here, if possible, now that he has given up these, so you may forgive him. They also mention the comparison just now Mataji read, that how fortunate our husband Kalia is. Even Brahma and Sri Lakshmi could not attain this, your lotus feet. Your means the original Nandanandana Krishna or Yashoda Nandan Krishna, Vraj Krishna, even Lakshmi Devi, it is said that till date she is doing tapasya so that she can get your lotus feet. She is not getting it, but you, this Kalia, who is being so full of pride and envy and whatnot, he has done, but he is getting it. So fortunate he is. And then they glorify the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. That is so wonderful that whoever gets this dust does not desire for anything from there, not even the position of Brahma, the rulership. They are not caring for anything. And those who surrender to you, they do not hanker for these rewards. forgiven. The only thing they would ask is for the devotion to the Lord and devotion to his devotees and association of his devotees. So, although this Kaliya, now they are making his petition, although this Kaliya was taken birth in the mode of ignorance and is controlled by anger, because he has achieved this, what is difficult to achieve by others, you must please consider and forgive him. So that's what they say. And now the final last question for now, and then we'll hand over because it's 7:35. So the question here is, what shows Lord is full of contradictory qualities? That is again an important point here, right? So what is showing here that Lord is full of contradictory qualities here? Hare Krishna, anyone, please? Okay, maybe I will read that then. So, accepting Kaliya's punishment and considering that was astonishing that he had gained the mercy of Krishna's lotus feet, though he was an offender. So, although Kaliya was an offender, Krishna showed his mercy. That shows that he is full of contradictory qualities. And he removed the offense and offered him humility. These slides, the Nagapatni continues offering their prayers and the glorification. And yeah, so in final verse, we can say here, as Mataji just read, like Krishna is one of them is very important, interesting here is like Krishna is time, shelter of time, and the Sakshi, or he is also the witness. And also finally, Krishna can be recognized by his extraordinary quality of extreme Bhakta Vatsalya. So only through devotion the Lord can be achieved. That's the final takeaway for us. So with that, let me stop here and hand over back to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu. I think you are finished with the invocation, so I will start my case. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girinyat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. I'm going to share my screen. And taking permission from Sri Charu Prabhu and Sri Charu Prabhu and all the other devotees assembled here, please bless me for this presentation of today.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, today we are going to see two portions. One, it will be part 3 of the Kaliya Daman Leela, where Kaliya is surrendering to Krishna. Krishna is ordering Kaliya to leave Vrindavan and go to the ocean, and then the history of Kaliya. And also we'll complete the second part of what we left yesterday, the Nagapatni's prayers. So these two parts we'll be doing. So Kaliya Daman Leela will be completed today. Today also is an exciting skit. So I would request everyone to join and be very equally participative in the skit which we are going to present today and enjoy it. Okay, so today we begin with the second part of Nagapatni's prayers. In this, we will be seeing how Nagapatnis are praying to Krishna, the wives of the Kaliya, that how at least a master should be tolerant of an offense committed by a child or a subject, and how the saintly persons, they are compassionate to women and children. Then we will also see the last and the final part of Kaliya Daman Leela, where Kaliya is surrendering to Krishna, and then Krishna is commanding Kaliya to leave Yamuna river and then go back to the ocean, Ramanaka Dvipa. And here we also will see who was Kaliya and from where did he come and why was he living here in the lake within the Yamuna. So these things we will be seeing today. Okay, so we will begin with the second part of where we left off yesterday, the Nagapatni's prayers to Sri Krishna. So today we are going to see Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura's comments. So the Nagapatnis are praying. Now again, there is this contrariness for another couple of shlokas. Like yesterday we mentioned why there is a contradictory nature to their prayers and how they're glorifying this exalted position that Krishna is possessing all these contradictory natures, and still he is the Supreme Lord. So your pastimes are inconceivably glorious. They are saying your existence can be inferred from the necessity for a creator and the revealer of all cosmic manifestations. But although your devotees can understand you in this way, that means they can understand you that they are your supreme, understand that you are, your existence is necessary because you are the creator of this cosmic manifestation. Although they know this, then your devotees can understand you in this way. To the non-devotees, you remain silent, absorbed in self-satisfaction. Now we will see the word meanings and so beautifully explained here in this slide. You are called Avyakrita Viharaya because your pastimes are unfathomable. Avyakrita. So you cannot be expressed. So they're unfathomable. They cannot be even understood. So even by scriptures, or because you have pastimes which appear material, or because your pastimes are devoid of any special formalities or pomp and amorous affairs with marriage, etc. So Krishna's pastimes are so very surreal, you can say, that they are exactly like something appear to be material, like Krishna dancing with the gopis, or Krishna doing, they appear material, isn't it? But no, they cannot be fathomed. They are unfathomable. We cannot understand the depth of why Krishna is doing certain pastimes. You endow your devotee with a variety of abilities to serve you with perfection. So the devotees know this, but the non-devotees don't. Sarva Vyakrita Siddhaye. So you are empowering them to understand your pastime. You enchant all the senses of your devotees because you are Rishikesha. And for those devoid of bhakti, you are Atma Rama, self-satisfied Muni. That means you don't, you are not so very bothered about what the non-devotees think of your pastimes. And for them, devoid of bhakti, you are just quiet. You're just very silent. For those who pray for fulfillment of desires, that means all the karmis who are only wanting Krishna, they're looking at Krishna as order suppliers, as Prabhupada says, that they're always giving him a list of orders. Please, Krishna, grant me this, grant me this, grant me this, grant me that. So for them, you're silent. You're Maula Shilne. That means neither bestowing happiness nor relieving distress. So you're very aloof. So Nagapatnis are saying, you know that the destination of all the things superior and inferior, and you are the presiding regulator of all that be, and you are distinct from the universal creation, and yet you are the basis upon which the illusion of material creation evolves. So here again, you see this contradiction. Krishna is distinct from the universal creation. He is distinct from that. And yet, Krishna is the basis upon which this illusion of material creation is evolving. So he's also distinct and he's also the basis. So it's both. And also the witness of this illusion. So he's also the Upadrishta Anumanta. He's also witnesser and the sanctioner. He's also there in that form as a Paramatma. And indeed, you are the root cause of this entire world. So you are the root cause of this entire world. You are the Upadrishta, you are the Anumanta, you are here, but yet you are distinct from this creation. So this is your glory. So you know the goal to be attained by the devotee, that is para, and the non-devotee, apara. So you are the superintendent of all these results. And thus, knowing what is proper, you bestow results to each according to what he deserves. According to the karma, everybody gets their results. Though you dispense the fruits of one's karma, you are not bound by karma. Although you are doing the dispensing of the karma, but you are not bound by karma because you are distinct from matter. Vishvaya. What does that mean? That means you are not matter at all. We are also not matter, but we are totally bound with this material body, thinking that we are matter. We are also spirit, isn't it? We are the spirit soul. But do we know that? We don't. We are completely connected with this material body as if we behave as if we are this body. As if we don't, if we lose this body, we lose our existence. That is what we generally think. But Krishna is, he doesn't have a body and a soul, distinct body and a distinct soul, right? He's together. So he is completely aware and he is distinct from matter. Even bodily is distinct from matter. So when it is necessary, you creating this material universe by your Maya Shakti. Krishna is creating this universe by his Maya Shakti whenever it's necessary. And he remains that overseer, Vishwadrishta or Upadrishta, and therefore you are the primal cause of the universe, animating it and directing its transformations. So you are controlling everything. You are the overseer. You are animating it. You are making everything happen. And yet you are aloof from your entire creation. So although you have no reason to become involved in material activity, still you act through your eternal potency of time to arrange for the creation, maintenance, and destruction of this universe. So there is no need for Krishna to involve in any material activities. Energy is enough to do everything. But he also, with his external energy, his eternal potency of time, he's arranging for his creation to happen, its maintenance to happen, its destruction at a proper particular time to happen. Everything is going like a clockwork. And you do this by awakening the distinct functions of each of the modes of material nature. So he's awakening the modes by just a glance, which was before the creation lie dormant. That means they are before the Mahat Tattva happens, it's Pradhana, and Pradhana is lying dormant. And when Krishna in his Mahavishnu Swarupa is glancing at this Pradhana, then Mahat Tattva happens. And then Prakriti is created. Then the three modes are created. And then everything starts simply by a glance. You perfectly execute all these activities of cosmic control in sporting mood. Now you can see how they have absorbed all this knowledge from Sheshanag. These Nagapatnis have understood Krishna completely. How the material creation is happening, they are now explaining and glorifying the Lord. Krishna asks, what is the purpose of creating this universe, giving it life and transformation? That means if let us say Krishna is asking this, then the Nagapatnis are answering. Simply by glancing upon material nature after the end of the previous kalpa, that means once the kalpa is after one universe is completely destroyed and then another universe has to begin. So what does the Mahavishnu do? He simply glances upon material nature after the end of the previous kalpa. You wake up the jivas resting in the pradhana and to their previous nature, and then proceed with the creation, maintenance, and destruction through the three modes of nature. That is Rajas, Sattva, and Tamas. And though you activate the modes of nature, you are not involved with any of these material endeavors. Aniha, all this is brought about by through your eternal potency of time. And just by your glance, you execute these activities in a playful mood. So what is there for Krishna to do? He's got nothing to do. Srila Prabhupada said, Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. He doesn't have to do anything. He just has to glance only. That's it. And in a playful mood. Therefore, all material bodies throughout these three worlds, those that are peaceful in the mode of goodness, those are agitated in the mode of passion, those that are foolish in the mode of ignorance, all these are all your creations. Still, those living entities whose bodies are in the mode of goodness are especially dear to you, and it is to maintain them protect their religious principles, that you are now present on the earth. We all know that we have, what is our goal in life is to go back home, back to Godhead. And this happens from one platform, and that is the mode of goodness. So Krishna is also protecting this mode very carefully, so that more and more jivas can get this mode of goodness, and from that platform they can jump to the Shuddha Sattva or go back home. So Krishna inquires, what is the intention of your praises? Why are you praising me like this? Then the Nagapatnis are replying that you are the creator of these material bodies throughout the universe. So at the time of creation, you only awakened all these bad qualities within non-devotees. So how is it possible for Kaliya to give up his cruel nature on his own? We are going to see it very distinctly in our skit today, so I'm not going to go into the details of this. So though all the bodies in the universe are created by you, we see that the living entities who take to devotion are dear to you. So Krishna is he says, I am impartial. I am not partial to any jiva in this world, but yet he takes care. He takes care of those who are his devotees, and the devotees are also dear to him. And so you are present on this earth to maintain your devotees and help them to uphold their religious principles. So he is helping. So in a way, he is partial to his devotees, but not that. Why is he saying I'm impartial, and why is he protecting the devotees and not protecting the demons? Because the devotees are dear to him. As the devotees carry him in their hearts, so he is also reciprocating likewise. So is there any partiality? No. If, let us say, if there are two persons, two children, and one child says, I don't want you, father. I don't want you at all. So father is reciprocating, okay, you can stay away from me. And another child says, I want you, father. I love you, father. So he is reciprocating by giving his love to the child. Is he partial? He's not partial. He's just reciprocating likewise. Ye yatham mam prapadyante tam tathaisva bhajamyam. So he's just reciprocating equally. So he is not partial. But because devotees are dear to him, and he is also dear to the devotees, like that. So at least they are saying, Nagapatnis, at least once a master should tolerate an offense committed by his child or subject. So not again and again, not that each time the child commits and each time you forgive him. So that is not the mentioned here. What's mentioned here is at least once we should tolerate, master should tolerate the offense committed by his subject or his child. O Supreme Peaceful Soul, you should therefore forgive our foolish husband who did not understand who you are. So now the Nagapatnis are praying that you should tolerate Kaliya's offense. Kaliya has committed against, not only against you, but to all your devotees whom Kaliya tried to poison. Now we should understand, where was this lake of Kaliya? It was not on the level of Yamunaji. It was deep down. It's mentioned, it's very deep down. So the poison poison was coming up from the lake. Whatever poison inside the lake was completely poisonous, but it was not coming into the waves of the Yamuna because the lake was not right on top. It was very deep inside. And so whatever little poison was coming up, that would be not enough to kill everyone there. But still, as the Kaliya's poison was growing and growing and growing, that portion where Kaliya lake was, that portion began to become very, very, very poisonous. And even a bird flying there would die. So Kaliya's wives are saying that after having been taught a lesson by you, however, if Kaliya again harasses your devotees, then you are not obliged to forgive him. So at least once you forgive him, after which if again he does this mistake, then please don't forgive him. Our husband Kaliya is qualified for forgiveness because he's ignorant and he's foolish, and he did it only the first time because nobody has told him, nobody has chastised him before, so he doesn't know that what he should do and what he should not do. So because of the extreme anxiety, the Nagapatnis are asking Krishna twice to forgive Kaliya. So Krishna is addressing, here he's addressed as Shantatma, peaceful, because that is the cause of forgiveness. So when you're Shanta, when you're peaceful, Krishna will become very angry with Kaliya. How dare you kill my, poison my devotees? How dare you come to Yamuna? So Krishna was getting angry, and that's why the Nagapatnis are kind of pacifying Krishna with these prayers. Then they're saying, "Oh Supreme Lord, please be merciful. It is proper for the saintly to feel compassion for women like us. And this serpent is about to give up his life. Please give us back our husband, who is our life and soul." So now Krishna is saying, I think this Kaliya, if I jump another few more times, Krishna is saying, I have diagnosed his disease and treated him and cured him. But to wipe out the last traces of the disease, I must stomp on his head even another 7 or 8 times more. So you should permit this, he's telling the Nagapatnis. Then the Nagapatnis are pleading, we fear that if you give our husband this strong medicine of punishment, which is actually some more mercy to purify him of all his offenses will go aparad, but he may die, for he is just about to leave his body. So Krishna, please don't, even once, don't stomp on his head. What Krishna is replying, what does it matter if he gives up a snake body? What can he do with this body? It's a very sinful body. What can he do with it? So he's saying it is better that he gets a spiritual body as my devotee, isn't it? Then the Nagpatnis are saying, but if we are very beautiful women, if we become widows, then we'll be engaged by force to enjoy with another sinful snake. So one snake after another we have to suffer. So since Kaliya is now a Vaishnava, he has become an object of our affection and our life and soul. So now Kaliya he's the Vaishnava now. And we will also be very happy with him because we are also Vaishnavis. So please give us back our Vaishnava husband. So they are praying to Krishna. Then they say, now please tell us, your maidservants, what we should do. Suddenly, anyone who faithfully executes your order is automatically freed from all fear. So Krishna is saying, then take your husband. I'm giving him to you, take. But you must follow my order. The Nagpatnis answer, yes, we will follow your order. Please give us the order. Give us that Videhi, give us the order. And the order is revealed in the next verse. Then Shukadeva Goswami is praising the Nagapatni. Praised by the Nagapatnis, the Lord is now releasing Kaliya. Shukadeva Goswami is saying, and who has fallen unconscious. His heads have been battered by striking of the Lord's lotus feet. And therefore, after punishing Kaliya with the blows of his feet, Krishna immediately jumped down from his hoods and stood before the snake and his wives. And Srila Prabhupada's purport Srila Prabhupada says, we should remember that when Lord Krishna executed these pastimes, he was just a little boy in Vrindavan, a village boy in Vrindavan. So we should remember this. So he was only a 6-year-old boy. So he jumped down from the hoods of that huge snake and he stood before the snake and his wives. So the next portion where Kaliya is surrendering to Krishna, and we will see how Krishna commanded Kaliya to leave Yamuna river at once and then head back to the ocean. And then we will see in part C the history of Kaliya. So now we will have the skit. So I will stop sharing. Prabhu, you are muted, Prabhu. Sure.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Now in this portion, the certain aspects of this lesson will be seeing in the skit only. In the skit, all those who are taking part, there is a jury in which all of you are part of it, but I am head of the jury. And prosecution is Radha Vinod Prabhuji. Defense is Lalit Priya Mataji. Kaliya is Samta Mataji. And Kaliya's chief wife Subala is Raksha Mataji. Now we will start the proceedings once the jury gives the permission. Now all those who are acting, please show your video. Yes, Raksha Mataji, Samta Mataji, Lalit Priya Mataji, and yes, okay. Now we'll start it, and we'll take about 15 minutes, and thereafter another 15 minutes we'll have discussion. on what we have discussed during this skit. Okay, now the skit starts. Well, as head of jury, I hereby give permission to commence the proceedings.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam to all devotees. The Kalya wife is entering in the stage. So, I am a Subala, the chief wife of him. I cannot take his name as per Shastra. If I do so, then his lifespan would be reduced. Please forgive our foolish husband who did not understand Krishna, the Supreme Lord. A parent or a master should tolerate the offense of his child or subject. Saintly people like Krishna should be merciful towards women like us. Please give us back our husband, who is our life and soul. He is about to give up his life. Please leave him this time. Please pardon him. Please pardon him. Hare Krishna.
This is all right, but because the Kalya very serious offences he has committed against the residents of Vrindavana, he is to be tried in the court today.
I am not able to pray to Lord Krishna because of my wretched condition. But with your permission, I want to say something.
Okay, permission is granted. Prosecution, please let Kalya make a statement.
Kalya has to swear in before we proceed.
I, Kalya, son of Katru and Kashyapa Muni, swear in the name of the Supreme Lord that I will speak the truth and nothing but the truth.
Kalya, you have been charged with the following serious offenses. Offense number 1, coming to Yamuna in Vrindavan without permission. Who permitted you to leave your natural inhabitant? That is the question 1. Second, what did you do after coming? Contaminated water of holy Yamuna river with your deadly poison. Third offense, what is the impact of that? Killing cows, innocent cows, bulls, Brajavasis, they are innocent, plants, trees, birds, and poisonous fumes that contaminated entire water. Fourth, unjustifiably applying criminal force on Krishna, a small boy of a year 5 or less who went to Jamuna just to pick up a ball which fell into the river. And the last offense is very serious. You attempted to murder Krishna. This is a very, very serious offense. And for that, we'll be executing this order.
Well, you have been given the charges. Now, defense, what do you have to say on the above charges on behalf of your client?
My lord, my client Kalya acted as per his nature. What is he? He is a snake. The very nature of a snake makes him envious, ignorant, and angry. It is difficult to give up one's conditioned nature, isn't it? And they have no means to identify with what is unreal. Therefore, my lord, Kalya, my client, is not at all at fault. I have no witness to produce to you, but I will have to ask Kalya himself to answer the charges.
That means your client, because of his identification with the body and countless varieties of sense objects, has become frustrated, disappointed, and anguished. He is causing disturbance in the society, which is punishable offense in the law, divine law, Lord. Kalya, why did you come from Ramanaka Island to Yamuna in Vrindavan to disturb peace here?
I came out of fear of Garuda.
What fear of Garuda? No, you didn't come for that. You came because of your ignorance, false pride, foolishness in challenging Garuda's superior power than your own, force you to come to Vrija. Why did you consume the share of the food which was meant for a Garuda? So your intent always is a criminal mind that proves. Tell us, why did you choose that portion? A portion of the Yamuna in a Vrindavan to stay.
I am safe here in Yamuna with my family because Garuda cannot come here as he is cursed by Saubhri Muni. If he comes here, he is going to die.
Thus, you willfully exploited the sage's curse on Garuda to your advantage.
You see, Krishna has made this universe with so much of diversity, using three modes of material nature, the Sattva Guna, the Rajaguna, and the Tamaguna. Therefore, we see so much of varieties of species, sensory and physical powers, forms, desires, so many fathers and mothers. I am not a snake by my own choice, but because of the arrangements of Krishna. How can you blame me for these actions?
Wow, you became a snake by your own karma. And then how can you blame Krishna for that?
All the jivas are acting by the supreme will of Krishna, and I am one of those jivas. Well, what can I say? I am a lowly person. I am covered by Krishna's most powerful illusionary Maya Shakti, which is so difficult to give up. Prakriteha kriyamani, gune karmani sarvashah. Krishna controls on the jiva cannot be avoided. Then how can we, the snakes, give up this illusion of being angry? Because this illusion itself is controlled by Krishna's Maya Shakti. Daivi Haisha Gunamai, Mama Maya Duratyaya. His Maya cannot be surpassed by anyone. Brahmanya Sarva Bhutani, Yantra Rudani Mayaya. We act just like machines, just like puppets under his illusionary Maya Shakti, so powerful Maya Shakti. Therefore, how can you blame me for that?
Your actions are all big karmas for which you are to be blamed. Without provocation, why did you show up your anger?
Well, Sarpajati Uru Manyavaha. Anger is the intrinsic nature of snake. It is born in its very DNA. How I, being a snake, relinquish it? I am a snake because of my karma. But who is controlling this karma? Krishna itself is controlling the karma, and he is responsible for my actions. I am not able to discard this illusion because it is controlled by Krishna. But if he makes us give up the illusion, we can only then give up the illusion.
Yes, then there's a process. You worship Krishna, follow the path of bhakti.
Okay, but we are bewildered by Krishna's Maya Shakti, and hence I cannot worship him or follow the path of bhakti. The offense occurred only because I have no independence of my own. How can I possibly give up this unsurmountable Maya?
All the knowledge about karma, vikarma, akarma has already been described in the scriptures, and that your wives are well aware of it, and they are trying to preach you, but you ignored because of your false pride, arrogance, and foolishness. You did not take advantage of sadhu sangha, that is your wife and your other associates. They are aware of this knowledge, and because of your false pride and foolishness, you did not take advantage of sadhu sangha at your own home and ignored them to come realize that Krishna is the supreme personality Godhead, and how peaceful bhakti by performing bhakti can effectively nullify the maya's influence which you are talking about. You were independent to act as per shastras, since the Lord has given you some independence. Why didn't you use that slight independence of yours in your favor?
Well, I am totally innocent of all the crimes because I have no independence to act reasonably.
No, your chief defense did not bring independence grossly faulty, and that is the fallacy of your defense falls apart. We do not have free will to act irresponsibly and come to bhakti platform. In fact, taking of bhakti is actually Krishna's desire, and he facilitates that most potent process by simply surrendering unto him. In a devotee's association, sadhu sangha, through bhakti, the lower modes are converted into pure mode of goodness, which will enable us to gain the science of Krishna Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana. Engagement in bhakti is facilitated by Sadhu Sangha. Your wives are great devotees who are preaching you, but you willfully ignored them.
How can you say that I have a free will? I have the independence to act.
Let me explain. Free will means that you can act wrongly. Doesn't mean that is a free will. Unless there is a chance of doing wrong or right, there is no question of free will. Where is the free will then? If I act only one-sided, that means I have no free will. Because we act sometimes wrongly, that means free will is there. Example, just like a thief, he knows that stealing is a bad, but still he does. That is a free will. He cannot check his greediness. So, in spite of knowing that stealing will put him into jail and punishment will come, but still he does. So, he uses free will, misuses his free will in that case. Everything he knows, but still is still. That is the reason. So, misuse of his free will. Unless there is a misuse of free will, there is no question of free will. So everyone can know that independence means one can use it properly or one can misuse it. That is the independence. If you make it one way only, that is not independence, but that is a force. Just you have free will, also like other jivas.
Well, now I realize that I am at fault. Krishna is the Lord of the universe. He is the actual cause of freedom from illusion. Lord, please arrange for me whatever is apt, whether it is mercy or punishment. I should have used my independence, my free will, and should have listened to my wife's advice. I cannot give up this nature on my own. Krishna is the cause of freedom from Maya. So I pray to the omniscient Lord to be merciful to me or to punish me as he desires.
Well, the jury has heard the arguments from both the sides and from the accused Kalia. And considering your actions, that is Kalia's actions, and the fact that you misused your freedom to harm all living beings in Vrindavan, the jury hereby pronounce that you are guilty of all charges framed against you. You are hereby ordered to leave Yamuna River in Vrindavana at once and go to the ocean in next 24 hours with your family and relations. Now with this, the court is adjourned now. Now we have finished the skit. Now we invite comments or questions from the devotees. And my one question to the devotees, now as you saw what Mataji has already described, Kalia was sent back to from where he came, that is to the ocean. In Krishna Leela, you would have seen that Krishna killed so many other opponents, the Asuras and other people who were causing disturbance in the society. But here in this case, Krishna did not kill Kaliya, but gave him a chance to reform and send him back. What could be the reasons for this? We can hear, you can answer this, or you may ask additional questions, or you can comment on anything else.
Can the skip people participate in this answer?
Yes. All the actors now, they can become the devotees also.
Yeah,
Okay,
may I try? Yeah, go ahead,
okay,
Madam.
sure. No, please go ahead, please.
Okay, my thought is it is because of the wives of Kalia who are devotees of the Lord and who got this. They are like, in a way, what you call disciples of Sheshna, right? Who is the Adikuru and is. So I think this signifies how important Lord gave to his devotee. If you have a devotee in the family, then just like Krishna promised to Prahlad Maharaj that he will not kill. So because of these Nagapatnis who were devotees, Kalia was not killed. Rather, he was given an opportunity to reform, and that is my understanding. Prabhu.
Yes, you are very correct. The wives of the of Kalia, they prayed. Very lengthy prayer is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which we are going through. And as you see at the end, Krishna is totally satisfied by the prayers of the Nagapatnis, and that is one reason. On this, I will say something later on. But any other reason?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I just playing little bit of a devil's role here, not to. So Kalya is a different soul, Patnis are different, everybody is following their own karmas and own devotion. So if you look at that way, Kalya Patni, initially they thought that he's a brute, he's a no use, let him die so that separately we can pray the Lord and we can get elevated. So you can see the separation there itself. But when they say Sanchari Bhav, they change. But here question is, just because their wives, they prayed, how come Kalya can be absolved? Right? All his demonic behavior, right from his early period, we see how he misused his independence with Garuda, and every time we have seen that, right? So are they not two different things?
Yes, what you are saying is correct. There must be other reasons. I am asking what are the other reasons why Krishna was so compassionate to him. One of the reasons Sanjeev Prabhuji has said. Any other thing you can think of? Why
In this
Krishna
case,
left him?
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji. Kalia also became Vaishnav.
Kalia became a Vaishnava. Yes. Any other thing that
so he was remorseful of his act at the end. Like during the skit also, there are mention of that Kalia actually admits it's his fault. So
okay,
Krishna,
yes, yes, that
because
is very correct.
Krishna is a Bhakta Vatsal, and when any devotee admits his mistake and is repentful and he wants to change his course of action, then Krishna always gives them a chance, because he has given chance for every demon, like the even to Duryodhana, he wanted to resolve the problem between Pandavas and Kauravas so amicably, friendly. He gave so many chances for Kauravas to come to terms with Pandavas and give them at least some space. So Krishna has been always patient, tolerant, and he's always Bhaktavatsal. So he wanted to give him another chance, just like he gave for Ajamil too. So this is one of the points that I wanted to mention.
Yes, that is very correct.
If one is
repentant, if one is repentant, then the Lord is very happy. Yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji, just one more reason occurs to me. If we go back to the story, one Kalia takes shelter of Yamuna, that is also again a devotee of Krishna, very dear to Krishna. Then it is Saubari Muni who has given that blessing that Garuda will not come and kill in this river Yamuna because of that curse. I mean, he has cursed Garuda, but in a way he has also blessed that. So if Garuda cannot kill his devotee, then he also maybe doesn't want to trespass that. Maybe that can be one reason.
Well, I'll give you just a hint. As we say, we have come into this bhakti platform because we must have done something good in our previous lives. Did Kalia do anything good in his previous life? We have heard his life story also.
Yes, Prabhuji. Vedashira, he's sage Vedashira. He did a lot of tapas and devotional service, and then there's one misunderstanding between Vedashira and Ashwashira, that he was cursed to become a snake because he got angry very soon to the comment by Ashwashira.
Yes, in his previous life, as Mataji said, he was Vedashira Rishi, and in Bhagavad Gita, in 240, second chapter, 40th verse, Krishna says, Swalpam abhi apasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. That means since he practiced devotional service in his previous life, he did something, he has to be protected. And in 931 in Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna says, he says, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakti pranasyati. O son of Kunti, I declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Devotee never perishes. That means anybody who is in this path of devotional service, he will always be favored by the Supreme Lord. He will ignore all the major mistakes. He may punish you with something, but still then he is going to show his mercy. He will not kill you. That is for certain. There is no doubt about it. Any other point on this? Why Krishna was so happy?
Prabhuji,
One more.
because Krishna himself had given his personal association to Kalia, he danced on him that all his poison came out. So all his faults came out. So he was very sure that now he will not go back to the sinful life. Could that be the reason?
Yes. That is also a reason. Any other point on this?
Yeah, Prabhuji, again,
Prabhuji, Kalia started to love Krishna because Kalia didn't want to get rid of Krishna. He wanted to embrace Krishna. So in this Kalia he started loving Krishna. That's maybe a reason. I
Yes,
think
he became a devotee. He became a devotee. He became a Vaishnava. And becoming a Vaishnava means you start loving Krishna. And he had association with Krishna. Krishna physically touched him. Once he touches, that means all his sins are gone. Yes, that is one of the reasons. Any other point?
Krishna wanted to glorify his wives. We were devotees.
Yes, that is also very, very correct. Any other point? Then I'll tell a short story.
Please Krishna's complete mercy. जिसको कृष्णा मारना चाहते हैं वो मारते हैं, कि जिसको जिनको बचाना चाहते हैं वो कृष्णा बचाते भी हैं.
Yes, you are very, very correct. Like you see, all the jivas, they are so sinful. If you actually actually try them in a court of law, each and everybody will be punished. But still, Krishna, he ignores most of the things. He just keeps, he remembers some of the things, and to purify, he gives a chance. Any other point?
One more reason, Prabhuji. Krishna wanted to save Kalia because of it is the duty of the master to save woman, to save child and his subject. That's why that may be the, I think, reason to save Kalia.
Okay, you can say that also.
प्रभु जी, दूसरे असुरों को भी तो भगवान का एसोसिएशन मिला था, लाइक पुतना भी भगवान के दूध पिलाने गई, तो वो भी इतना क्लोज एसोसिएशन था. तब असुरों को भी तो मिला था एसोसिएशन, मगर काल्या को ही भगवान ने छोड़ा. उसका बहुत ही बड़ा रीजन हो सकता है.
Yes, like you see, Putana was left. There is no reason for that. Yes, Charu Prabhuji, please.
Yeah. In the Bhagavad Gita, में भगवान क्या कहते हैं? सुअपि सुदराचारो. You know, worst sin person can commit, but when he is truly repentant, okay, very truly repentant what he has done, and then he takes shelter, surrender. So one जिस भगवान के शरण में जाते हैं, भगवान कभी निराश नहीं करते, you know, मगर उसको शरण में जाना चाहिए. हमारे सब पूरा right सब भूल जाना चाहिए. We should forget all ourselves, these things, whatever we did, everything, and truly seek the Lord's mercy, you know. So that is what Kalia did that actually. And of course, it was aided by his wives. First of all, I want to congratulate all of the actors. They did wonderful acting, you know, beautiful, especially the two principal actors. And as I had expected, Radha Vinod Prabhu did perfect role, you know, how spontaneously spoke. He didn't just read that. That's what I really liked about it, and also Kalia, that role played by Samata Mataji. Did you notice that there was a very, very creative, very creative. So she did wonderful role also. So कहने का मतलब ये है, तात्पर्य ये है कि बहुत भूल हो जाती है हमसे, because we are after all, jivas, conditioned souls, So, but truly, when you realize, wake up and consider that's the morning, and start really very, very in a humble mood. See how Nagapatni's appeal to the Lord, that what you did was perfect. You did a just punishment was just fitting to her husband, whatever the things that he did out of his nature and everything. But you were very, very merciful, So Krishna personally danced on his hoods and everything. He left his footprints. Did you see that Naga in the back of it? You see that there's a typical sign is there. Have you noticed that in the snake's head? All snakes had particularly this snakes that appear in India, poisonous snake, cobra. In the cobra, behind that, in that hood, they were typical sign. That's a footprint of Krishna, actually. Just like that we have this tilak, exactly like that kind of mark is there. So, in the nutshell, you repent, truly repent, surrender, full surrender, unconditional surrender, and tell the Lord, Prabhuji, I'm in your shelter, So please don't desert me. And Krishna is very, very merciful. Sudurachara means even the worst thing we might have done, but if we truly surrender ourselves and truly repentant and not trying to do again, you take the shelter of the Lord, So then Lord will, take care of you, and sadhu sangha, that is very, very important. So those are the things, and again, my congratulations to all of you. Really, but do you like my idea about doing the skit? See how much everyone.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
It
yes,
is so
very
wonderful.
Yes,
How much
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
very,
just reading is
very
something, but
wonderful.
doing it with fun, Thank you so
It's
much.
wonderful.
So we might even do it one few more times, okay? When this is appropriate, and I will consult with Sharad Prabhuji. And any of you get some idea, bright idea, please bring it up. We will consider that, okay? Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, may I ask you a question, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Pataji.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, this is not related to this particular episode of Kalia. You have kind of in the process of making the slides, the way you are reading everything, all the material, and diving so deep into the subject matter. And when we started off Srimad Bhagavatam advanced course, you gave a list of all the hymns that your professor said that all the hymns should be covered. So given that we have very limited time, we are in the human birth, and we don't know, but life is very unpredictable. Of all these hymns, because these are also too many, 58 hymns around. So of all these hymns, which one do you feel is the most powerful and should be done on a daily basis to come out of the sinful life very fast?
There are many, many hymns, and each of them, they have their own character. But we need to dive in. I think the most impressive one is Kunti Mata's prayers. That's like a model, Everyone should follow that, Kunti Mata, her prayers are very, very deep rooted, actually, that really touched my heart. The way she prayed, how, and very humble mood that, see, I'm a woman. What can I do? I'm a woman's body, and still I'm trying to understand. I'm kind of sometimes bewildered you are outside, you are inside. I see in front of you, you are there. I directly see you, and you entered into Uttara's Garbha, Uttara's womb, and saved the ultimate heir of the Kuru dynasty in Parikshit Maharaj. You saved, So, and then she said that the most powerful argument, most powerful thing that she said, and which is hard for all of us to understand, is that please give him more and more difficulties. No one wants to have that, right? No one wants to ask for that. But why did she say a very smart thing, very intelligent thing she said? Because only when we are getting a difficulty, we truly seek the shelter of the Lord. Unless, if everything we are enjoying, everything is going, rosy, life is rosy, then we hardly ever remember the God. We don't remember God. And with too much success and too quick success, it goes into the head of every one of us. Look at the current president-elect. See, this is what happens. So Kunti Mata said, give me more difficulties. More difficulties means more I take shelter of you, more I remember you. And what is the result of that? When I remember you, there is no more reason for me to come back. Okay, I get to go to your Dham.
Soul becomes very pure.
So, see, these 2 or 3 arguments she puts it in her prayers is so wonderful, so intelligent way she put it there, So that's one. But each and every other prayers are also good. Like this other hymn, this elephant, how desperate he was when his leg was taken by that crocodile and pulling him into the water, deep into the water, and he was about to die, and he's praying to Krishna. Now see, there are so many finer points out there. How did he remember? See, this is what the Lord's mercy on us. If you have done some good devotional activities in your previous life, God makes you remember. And that also the critical time of your life. And you remember who you are, and then, automatically everything comes in the memory. Lord gives you the memory. The issue, you see, even a devotee, many times he wonders that in Ante Narayan Smriti, how do we make sure that we will be able to remember the Lord? Because at the last minute, our physical condition, especially the mental condition, nobody can guarantee, no matter how much you have done that. But it's Lord's mercy if we are doing a devotional service, bhakti process, Lord takes the personal responsibility to have him remembered. The ईशा उपनिषद में ये है, ईशा उपनिषद में लिखा हुआ है कि भगवान खुद याद करवाते हैं अगर कुछ किया हो तो आपने, So that is one, Krishna is very, very merciful. More merciful is Srimati Radharani. Who is Srimati Radharani? She is the personification of bhakti towards Krishna. And bhakti is so powerful, very powerful bhakti. उसमें क्या ताकत है, क्या potency है? इसके लिए तो I'm doing my PhD. Why? I'm doing my PhD at my age, in this severe heart condition. Only one lung I'm surviving. Only one eye I'm looking at you, all of you. The only eye is remaining here. So why? This is because of exactly like that. Whatever I've experienced, the potency of bhakti, I want to share with the rest of the world, actually. So I want to put it in the academic domain. सिर्फ भगवान के नाम लेना है, भगवान की कथाएं सुननी है, भगवान के भक्तों के संग लेना है. कितने महान कार्य हो जाते हैं उससे. सब पाप धुल जाते हैं ऑटोमेटिक. So this, and simply hearing Shuratam Sukata Krishna, simply उनकी बातें सुननी है, उनकी जो कथाओं में, उनकी लीलाओं में वो ताकत है, अद्भुत ताकत है. और उसके and that does amazing thing, dramatic transformation of personality takes place. And my knowledge, 50 plus years of research activity in the state-of-the-art genetics, molecular genetics, epigenetics, I'm applying there. That's only my contribution. Everything, all the clues came from scriptures. So that is I want to show to the mass of people. You know, Bhagavad Gita में श्लोक है, first canto, second chapter, 6-7 verse is there, 6 and 7. You know, उसमें बताते हैं कि भगवान की भक्ति में वो ताकत है, it's just incredible. And sadhu sangha, if you associate with the Lord, that takes dramatic transfer. In fact, I came to Bhakti platform first time due to a devotee. Behind every devotee story, you'll see there is some devotee who came in their life that was sent by Krishna. There was a Canadian devotee who told me, chant Hare Krishna. So every devotee's life, so that's what I want to show. And that is the reason why I'm doing this PhD. Not for making money, not for making new career, not even for fame. Because जब हम मरने वाले हैं, जाने वाले हैं, तो who cares about the fame? You know, but जाने से पहले, human birth is not worth living. You can change people's lives for good. That's all I learned. The essence of it that I learned in our scriptures is this: do something about it that can really make a positive change in people's lives. That's why I've chosen this very, very voluntarily chosen this arduous path, very, very difficult path, do my PhD at that time. So, कहना भक्ति में वो ताकत है, वो दिखाना चाहता हूँ मैं लोगों को. And I've experienced in my life. I make mistakes, made a lot of mistakes, serious mistakes. And I'm still doing that mistakes. Those mistakes does happen. Only thing that I try my best not to repeat the same mistake. And for that, I always pray to Krishna. Krishna, I cannot control my senses. You take control of my senses. I'm unable to control myself. Only you take. I let you use myself and do whatever the way you feel fit. You dim way you want to do it. But I cannot control myself. So that is my personal prayer to Krishna. Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Now, Archana Mataji can start the class.
I'm so very sorry about that. Archana Mataji, very sorry. I got carried away.
It's okay, bro. No problem. We'll continue with this. So I will share my
Whatever
screen.
is possible, okay? Otherwise, we'll continue to next week.
Okay, bro. So I will continue and try to complete it. Thank you for your invaluable points and all your instructions. Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much. I will share the screen. So now we begin with the continuation. Now Kalia has been forgiven by the Lord, as we saw in the skit. And now Krishna has commanded Kalia to leave the Yamuna river at once and then go back to Ramanakadvipa, which is in the ocean. So Shukadeva Goswami is saying, after hearing Kalia's words, Krishna, who was acting like the role of a human being, like a small boy, he told the serpent, now you don't remain here anymore. Now you go back to the ocean immediately, because we need this river. We need, you must take your children, wives, everyone with you. And this river should be enjoyed by us, that is the cows and the human beings. So what does Sanatana Goswami and Jiva Goswami, they are saying? They are saying that Krishna, he is appearing in his human-like form to benefit the humans. Karya Manushaha, not with the material body. He's not coming with a material body. He's coming with a spiritual body only, but looks like material. Or he performs a play like karya, like a human, like pastime, manushaha, not with a material body. So we should remember this, not with a material body. This Krishna's body is not material. Although you see is growing from Kaumara to Pauganda, Pauganda to Kaishora. Yes, we are seeing this. This is the Leela Shakti of Krishna, which is trying to show us, but not that because of like we are growing from Kumara to Pauganda and to Kaishora. That is not the same as Krishna growing up. Whereas Krishna's is the Leela Shakti, which is showing us these different forms of Krishna. And Krishna is not having a material body, and his body is undeteriorated. It is never changing, unchanging. His body is also like our soul, we say, right? Our soul is unchanging, like that. Krishna's body is also unchanging. Any changes you see in the Lord, like his different avatars which we see, are all because of his Leela Shakti. Or he spreads his prema karya to all the men, Manushaha, since humans are the principal objects when he appeared among the humans. This means that it is improper for snakes to be present at the main abode of the Lord, that is Vrindavan. So he is a human being now, which has appeared like a human-like form, and he has come in the Vrindavan. So snakes it's not proper for the huge snakes to come there and poison Vrindavan. Or he has devotees, Manusha, worthy of respect, Arya, that is worthy of respect, and even Brahma, Ka. Ka is also another name for Brahmaji. So to make them happy, you should not remain here. Oh snake, it's improper for you to remain here. And this shows that Kalia's ability to move, that is Sarpa means to crawl. So he should go with his relatives. And the word Swa indicates that they had a similar poison. That means the Nagapatnis also and the children also. And so also shows that they were dependent on him. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'm sorry. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura is saying that to punish the powerful serpent Kalia, which Brahmaji or Shivji would find difficulty in doing so, why is it mentioned like that? That Brahmaji and Shivaji would find it difficult in doing so because they have not appeared as Krishna here in Vrindavan like a human form, and they can come and in contact with Kalia and they can chastise him. So Krishna easily did this just in a human-like form, Karya Manushaha. And Krishna did not employ his conch shell or his dish, Shankha Chakra for his act. He did not do that. The word Karya can also mean pastime, and thus Karya Manusha can mean he who took a form of a human for performing sweet pastimes. Or Karya Manushaha can mean Brahman which takes the form of a human. Or Karya Manusha also can mean that Krishna who performs activities among the human beings. And Krishna addressed in Kalia that you must go back to the ocean along with your children. Why? Is because the cows and cowherd men and all, they could use the Yamuna river waters, and the banks again can be filled with grass, leaves and fruits. So for this reason, Krishna commanded Kalia to leave. That is very easy to understand. But now Krishna is commanding Kalia to leave this. So he's saying that if a mortal being attentively remembers my command to you, so this is like a Falashruti. So to leave Vrindavan and go to the ocean and narrates his account at sunrise and sunset, he will never be afraid of you. So if anyone is afraid of snakes, they should narrate this pastime. This command of Krishna telling Kalia to leave. So if they narrate this to sunrise and sunset, then they will never be afraid of snakes or Kalia. Srila Swami is saying that mortal shall not be afraid of you, na yushmat bhayam atmayat. The command is that person's fear must not be evoked by any one of you. Sanatana Goswami or Jiva Goswami, they say that the person who, while glorifying at the two sandhyas, remembers and glorifies my command to leave, which has been given to you. Sandhya could also mean different thing, right? We are seeing here, Sandhya could mean that either the time which is coming in between the evening and the like the night, or the time which comes between the morning and the afternoon. So that time could also mean Sandhya, or Sandhya can also refer to the Sandhi between summer and monsoon. That's also another place where between the seasons, between the two seasons, when the snakes first come out of their hole, and to the period between monsoon and winter, where they enter their holes. So when the monsoon, the water goes inside the holes, the snakes come out. And then when the monsoon is over and when winter starts, when it becomes very cold, then the snakes again go to inside the holes to keep warm. So this is the fear of the snake. There is a fear of snakes because the snakes are angry from hunger or pain. So that is when they come out of the holes, they're very hungry, they don't get anything to eat, and then they're very angry also. So there's a person who hears this story will not have fear of pain or hunger. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Kalia, may my fame be of being punished by receiving your feet on my head. Kalia is saying that Krishna, my fame is now, why? Because my heads are now being stamped by your lotus feet. So as long as sun and moon are there, let all my fame be spread like this, the being punished by you. Because Krishna is saying here, you will no longer have fear of snakes. This verse should be considered as a mantra to ward off snakes' bites. So this is also Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that you can use this mantra, this number 60, the verse number 60, as mantra for snake bite. So there is another mantra which can also be recited like a spell to protect one from snakes mentioned in the Rig Veda. Yamuna hridehi soyato yo narayana vahanaha yadi kalika dantasya yadi kalai kakalika bhayam janma bhumi paritrato virvisho yati kalikaha. Garuda, the bird carrier of Lord Narayana, came to visit the lake in the Yamuna. One need no longer fear the bites of Kalia, nor his deadly poison, and the Lord who protects Vrajbhumi has made Kalia harmless. So this is also from the Rig Veda. This also can be chanted as a mantra. If one bathes in this place of my pastimes, and if one offers the waters of these lakes to the demigods and other worshipable personalities, or if one observes a fast and duly worships and remembers me, he is sure to become free from all sinful reactions. So this is also another Falashruti. One is being afraid of the snakes and another being free of all sinful activities. So Sri Sanatana Goswami and Jiva Goswami is saying, since the lake has been contaminated by poison, by us, Kalia is saying, how can the humans and animals now use it? Then the Lord offers Kalia a blessing to purify the lake. By offering the water at this place indicates that the water is free from poison. What cannot Krishna do? So he has freed this water of this lake, made it poison free. And if one fasts on Ekadashi at this place, thinks of Krishna, worships Krishna, he becomes free of the 3 types of sins along with desires as well as pramuchyate, and or he becomes free from all people who are opposed to me, the sinners, sarva papaihi. He will be free from seeing non-devotees. He will be free from seeing non-devotees. So he will be always in the association of devotees. That is the meaning. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, Krishna says, for these reasons you should leave this lake to free themselves from sins. People come here to bathe, offer tarpan, fast, meditate and worship me. But if you stay here, then they cannot do this. So you please have to leave. Although now Kalia had become a devotee, so he would not be poisoning the lake anymore. But still Krishna said that people will be afraid of coming here because you are staying here, and therefore you should leave this place. Then Krishna commanded Kalia to leave the ocean and go back to the ocean. Out of the then what does Kalia says? Why did he come here? So out of fear of Garuda, Krishna is saying, you left Ramanak Island and you came to take shelter of this lake. But because you are now marked with my footprints, now Garuda will no longer try to eat you. So don't worry, he will not harm you seeing my footprints. So Sridhar Swami is saying, here the Lord says that Kalia might not have fear of Garuda. So now he no need to fear Garuda. So Sanatana Goswami and Jiva Goswami, they are saying that Ramanakam means that place which gives pleasure. Ramayati iti Ramanam. He mentioned this to enliven Kaliya. So Kaliya, don't worry, I'm banishing you, but I'm banishing you to a place which is going to give you a lot of pleasure. So it's going to be a very nice place, a pleasurable place. It's your place. It's not this small little one yojana lake which you are staying in, but it's going to be a huge place in the ocean, which is so beautiful. So I'm not going to give you a punishment. It's rather, it's like going to be a pleasure giving place. But this place is only a yojana, few yojanas in breadth, small in comparison with this island, isn't it? This place which Kaliya is now staying is so small in compared with that island, Ramanaka Dvipa. So you should take shelter in there, and as Upashitaha, and the word indicates that the shelter is not permanent. Garuda can no longer afflict you, Adyat, since you are marked with my foot. And previously Krishna danced on his head as play, and now this act became the remnants, marks of mercy. So initially Krishna did not mean to leave his marks, footprints on the heads of Kaliya. It was just like his, it's like a, in a way of a dance. He tried to dance on his head, on his hoods, and like a play. But now this act has become like a marks of mercy. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that Krishna said, "You will no more have fear of Garuda. Don't worry." This is the import of this verse. So Krishna is commanding Kaliya to leave. So having been released by Lord Krishna, those activities are very wonderful. Kaliya is joining his wives in worshipping him with great joy and reverence. Now they are very happy that now they are going back to their original place which they had to run away from because of the fear of Garuda. So Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami are saying Muktaha means the Lord got off his head from his head. He was released. Kaliya was released. Krishna jumped off from his head. And it is famous that Kaliya was touched by the Lord's lotus feet, but then he attained a place which was his previous type of happiness. So earlier he was enjoying somewhere else, that is Ramanaka Dvipa, and he got back that place. That is astonishing action of the Lord. He went out to the spot which he had previously left out of fear. So he's sending, the Lord is sending Kaliya to the same place where he had left out of fear. Garuda also respected him and became friendly with him because he was marked by Krishna's lotus feet. Anyway, Garuda was his brother only. They are both cousins, actually. We will see that in the future. So Garuda became friendly with him because now he is a devotee. His hoods have been became successfully marked by the dancing of the lotus feet of Krishna, and the foot dust of Krishna was there, which was desired even by Brahmaji. Lakshmiji was all given to him free of charge, and he was received instructions from Krishna more than Lord gave to Brahma and others, by which he drank the nectar of Krishna's sweet words in person. So just like Arjuna was instructed by the Lord, similarly Kaliya is also instructed personally by the Lord. So not only that Krishna danced on his hoods, gave him his dust, he also gave him sweet words. Later, as a great devotee, he worshipped Krishna like a topmost devotee for 5 specific reasons listed by Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, despite his anger. We will see this in the next slide. So we'll keep this for that. And though he was an offender and was crushed by Krishna's feet repeatedly, simply by surrendering his heart, he attained Lord Krishna's mercy. And he was expelled from the river so that Krishna could now play at ease with the Vrajavasis on the banks of Yamuna. So Krishna took pleasure in dancing in front of the cowherds, and the perfected sages, and while at the same time he was revealing his divine powers. So all this he was doing, Krishna was doing, he was happy because he got a chance to show off his dancing talents to all the perfected sages on a very versatile platform. And then he maintained proper grace in his movements on Kaliya's hoods, which were shaking and turning about and trying to bite him. So it is not only a stage which is moving and which is also very uneven, and it is also very slippery, but it is also very dangerous stage. A stage which is trying to bite the actor. Imagine the stage is coming out and trying to bite you and harm you in all ways. And even then, Krishna was properly maintaining his grace. And of all these astonishing aspects of Krishna's pastime, this was so very beautiful and astonishing. Then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that Krishna performed a most wonderful activity, Adbhuta Karmana, by saving the Vrajvasis from Kaliya, protecting Kaliya from Garuda, everything in one go, you know. We said 2 birds with 1 stone, but here there were so many activities were performed just by one action of Krishna and benefiting both the victims of violence and the perpetrator of violence. So, who are benefited? The Vrajvasis are victim of violence of Kaliya's poison. The cows, the Brajvasis, everybody is victims and they are benefited. And the perpetrator, that is Kaliya, he is benefited. And Kaliya's wives also, they are innocent victims. They are also benefited. And the words, so everyone is benefited by just Krishna dancing on the hoods of Kaliya. And then he is freed from his sins. He is also freed from his fear of Garuda. So many things were accomplished by just one act of Krishna, just one act of dancing. And Krishna also made the gopis happy. He made the sages happy. He made the Gandharvas, Charanas, Siddharth, everybody happy by his dancing. So he was entertaining everyone. He was also removing Kaliya's poison, and he was also removing his offense to Garuda and the Vrajvasis. Because Nagapatnis were worshipping Krishna, and the Vrajvasis also were very happy, and Krishna was worshipped by Kaliya and his wives with love and devotion. So now these are the 5 points, specific reasons why Kaliya worshipped him like the topmost devotees do. What is Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami saying? Because by external outlook in this way, even the chastisement culminates as a specific favor. And even the anger ends up as the highest satisfaction. Now Krishna is chastising Kaliya, but it became a specific favor by imprinting his footprints on his hoods. And his anger ends up becoming the highest satisfaction for Kaliya, because he can go back to his Ramanaka Dvipa and no more afraid of Garuda. Because then the second point, because of that sort of clemency towards him, though he was that kind of offender merely due to surrendering with the heart. That means he has cleansed Krishna, Kaliya totally, and Krishna is showing him so much of clemency. Clemency means so much of mercy he is giving. Is giving him freedom from all his offenses, and just because Kaliya is surrendering to him with his heart. So this is the other way of worshipping Krishna. So because of crushing his heads, which were loaded with multitude of jewels, by the touch of his divine feet, which were extremely delicate and are being sung in the text as Chalasiyad Vraja Charayan Pashun Nalina Sundaram Nathate Padam Shilatrina Kurai Sirati Tina Kalilatamana Kanta Gachati. This is from the Gopi Gita. The gopis are saying, dear lover, dear master, when you leave the covered village to herd the cows, our minds are greatly disturbed by the thought that your beautiful feet, which are so beautiful, more beautiful than the lotus, will be pricked by the small husks of grains or rough grass or plants or pebbles or whatever, and we are feeling very much disturbed. We are very much disturbed. This is a beautiful poem. So like this, imagine Krishna was dancing on the hoods of Kaliya. His delicate feet were being hurt or touched by those hard jewels, multitude of jewels, which Krishna was trying to crush on his head. So can you imagine the stage now? You can imagine the stage which is uneven, which has got like a hood of the snake is like this, right? It's uneven. One side it's high, one side it's low. Then it is slippery, because the snake's body is very slippery and slimy. So it is slippery, it's in the waters, and it is moving, and it is trying to bite Krishna. And on top of that, it's got jewels which are so hard, and Krishna has to jump, and he has to jump. And if imagine his jumps on these jewels are so hard, and his feet is becoming reddish, and how the gopis are crying out, thinking of how they're fainting in that distress, that his beautiful feet, which are more delicate than a lotus petal, are going to be pricked by the small pebbles and rough grass. Then imagine these hard jewels, how much they must be thinking. So like this, because the fourth point is, because at the time of manifesting this kind of Aishwarya, of joviality, of a great dance directly in the presence of the sages, siddhas and all, and divine cowherds. So this is also one kind of worship, that Krishna was dancing on his hoods, and he was showing this Aishwarya, and it was become a very great entertainment for all the sages, siddhas, and charanas, and gandharvas, and even the cowherd boys who were divine actually, and everyone was watching, even the gopis. And over and above that, because of maintaining skills in the movement on many heads that were moving up and down, sideways, this way it was moving, and it was moving this way also. The stage was a moving stage, and he was maintaining his skill, and that was a manifestation of his special godhood, and that is what is implies with Bhagavata, or Bhagavata by the Lord. So I think we will not take the break, as there's very little time. We have another maybe 10 more slides, 8 more slides. Should we stop here, or shall I continue, Prabhu? I'll try to finish in 15 minutes. Is it okay?
No, continue, please.
Okay,
it's my fault. I took your time.
No. Now Krishna is commanding Kaliya to leave. So Kaliya has been worshipped. Kaliya worshipped the Lord of the universe by offering him. What did he offer him? He offered him fine garments, necklaces, jewels, valuable ornaments, wonderful scents and ointments, and a large garland of lotus flowers. Having thus pleased the Lord, whose flag is marked the emblem of Garuda, Kaliya felt satisfied. Is then receiving this Lord's permission to leave, Kaliya then circumambulated him and offered him obeisances, then taking his wives, friends, children, everyone, and he went to his island in the sea. At that very moment, Kaliya left. The Yamuna was immediately restored to original condition, free from poison and full of nectarian water. This happened by the mercy of Krishna, who was manifesting like a human form just to enjoy his pastimes. So Krishna can do anything. Or Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that Krishna said that one can become sinless by worshipping and remembering the Lord. Therefore, Kaliya now begins to worship Krishna. So Kaliya said, although I am most sinful, then you gave me the most mercy. You have not put your foot on others' heads and marked them with your disc and conch. With great respect, I, along with my wives, will offer you cooling sandalwood pulp from my hand, because your body was burned by my poisonous fangs. And Krishna says, it will take a lot of time. And Kaliya said, no, please sit down, my lord. And in making Krishna sit down, he and his wives applied the body, sandalwood to Krishna's body, and fulfilling their heart's desires. They were, what is the gopis are singing also, that there is a song, Radha Krishna Prana Mura Jugala Kishore. In that also there is a sentence where the Manjaris or the gopis, they are thinking that they also want to Shama Gori Ange Diva Chandane Raganda Chamara Dulavo Kave Heri Mukha Chandra. So this is their heart's desire. So this is the heart's desire of Kaliya and his wives also. They are worshipping him. They are putting chandan on all the Lord's body. And then the Kaliya and the wives have attained the mercy of the Lord. And after they fulfilled all their desires by worshipping Krishna in all different ways, and then they left the Yamuna, and this is described in the 2.5 verses. Now we'll see about this beautiful topic of this Kaustuba gem. What happened that when Krishna was held in that in the coils of Kaliya, Krishna had this Kaustuba right from his birth on his neck. It was already there, Kaustuba Mani. But when he was in this Kaliya's coils, he was held. What happened due to that excitement and fighting and struggling, nobody noticed that Krishna made his Kaustuba gem enter into Kaliya's treasury. Krishna did that. So then what happened at that time of worshipping Krishna with different jewels and ornaments, the Nagapatnis, they were not aware that this gem has come from Krishna only into their treasury, and they again offered him it back to him. They offered a Kaustuba gem to him, thinking that it was one of their own jewels. Then this is a trick, transcendental trick by Krishna. This is described in Sri Radha Krishna Ganodesha Deepika by Sri Rupa Goswami as follows. Kaustubhakhyo maniryena pravishyaridam auragam Kaliya preyasi vrinda haste ratmopaharitah. The Lord had made his Kaustuba jewel enter the serpent's lake and then arranged for it to be presented back to him by the hands of Kaliya's wives. This was his great mercy. So being pleased with Kaliya, Krishna, whose flag is marked with the emblem of Garuda, Garuda Dhwaja, we say, right, Garuda Dhwaja is one of his names. So placed his lotus hand on Kaliya's head and removed all his pain. We remember one more episode, like anybody remembers how Krishna placed his lotus hand on somebody's body and removed all his pain? Anybody remembers?
Squirrel.
Not squirrel. Pains. Krishna inflicted pain on somebody else. Just like Krishna inflicted pain on Kaliya, Krishna also inflicted pain on someone else. And Krishna, with his lotus hands, touched his body and then removed all his pain. Anyone remembers?
Kubja.
No, Krishna didn't inflict pain on her. Physical pain. Fighting. Jambavan. Jambavan in that Shamantakamani Leela, when Krishna nicely pummeled him with his fists, and then Jambavan totally was exhausted. They fought for almost 28 days, and Krishna was like enjoying Veera Rasa with him. And then finally Jambavan succumbed. And then Krishna placed his lotus-like hands on Jambavan's body and then removed all his pain. This is another time where Kaliya got this mercy. So Kaliya said, "Oh, one who rides on Garuda, now I am the servant of my older brother Garuda. If by chance Garuda is not present to carry you, and by chance Garuda is not available, then just remember me as your personal carrier. I am also his brother. So I am the servant of your servant. And in the wink of an eye, I will instantly appear from millions of yojanas away." So this is the implication of the use of the words Garuda Dhwajam. The Purana state that in a different Kalpa, when Kamsa orders Krishna to come to Mathura for a wrestling match, the Lord sometimes goes there sitting on Kaliya in a different day of Brahma. The phrase Krida Manusha Rupina means that Krishna eternally manifests a human-like body for relishing playful pastimes. So he wants to use this human-like body, so that he can relish playful pastimes. He can show his different leelas, Kaumara Leela, Pauganda Leela, and Kashora Leela. So by Krishna's touch, the Yamuna became free of poison just by his touch and was filled with nectar. So this ends that Kaliya pastime. Kaliya has left. Now Shukadeva Goswami he begins to narrate the history of Kaliya in response to Parikshit's two questions. Why did Kaliya leave Ramanaka Island? And why did Garuda become so antagonistic towards Kaliya alone? Then Kaliya's willful defiance of Garuda, and then that led to his losing battle against Garuda, and how Kaliya was forced to flee from Ramanaka Island and take shelter in Yamuna. And then we see Kaliya knew the reason why he was safe residing in the lake from Garuda, who was forbidden to enter because of Saubhari Muni's curse. Okay, so we will now see briefly the history of Kaliya. Shukadeva Goswami's response to Parikshit Maharaj, 2 questions. Having thus heard how Krishna chastised Kaliya, Parikshit is inquiring, why did Kaliya leave Ramanak Island? Why did Garuda become so angry with him? Then Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami is saying, mentally they satisfied after hearing about the Lord's well-being. So he was happy. Who was happy? Parikshit Maharaj. Okay, Krishna was all right. All the cowherd boys were all right. And he gave so much of compassion to this big scoundrel like Kaliya, who had entered the Yamuna river, and then how did he stop him from becoming fearful of Garuda? Now Parikshit is inquiring, why did that scoundrel Kaliya, why was he residing in this important holy place at Vrindavanam? That this abode, Nagaland is the abode of serpents, right? And it's a natural permanent residence of snakes, but not the abode of Garuda. So therefore, many snakes reside there, where Nagalaya. Okay, that is for what reason? Katham, to take shelter of Yamuna and Vrindavan, Kimva. Why did he come here? For what reason? And out of fear, Yadbhaya is implied here. So given that all snakes are automatically fearful of Garuda in a general way, why was only Kaliya afraid of him, extremely afraid of him? Everyone is afraid of him. All snakes are afraid. But why was Kaliya so fearful of him? Now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the reasons for Kaliya's fear of Garuda and Sabari Muni's curse on Garuda is going to be explained. So methodical, critical analysis of that which is given to dig out the unknown buried therein. Ask a series of pertinent questions which are like tools to unearth below the surface of the ground that you're digging. So important it is to hear the Krishna Katha, but even more important it is to dig out the unknown, buried things which are underneath that layer of the Katha which is going on.
These are my comments actually, okay?
Yes, this is Prabhu's comments. We can see that. But it is so very important for us to remember that we just don't hear the Krishna Katha for pleasure, but also we should be very asking very pertinent questions. We should be very attentive, very alert, like how Parikshit Maharaj, he's going to leave his body within few days' time, but he's so alert and he's so very trying to go into the depth. He's trying to dig out from the surface of the ground and unearth all the points. He's not going to miss out even a single point. He wants to hear everything. And this is very, very important for all of us devotees. How we should be very, very attentive and alert. Then Shukadeva Goswami is saying, to avoid being eaten by Garuda, the serpents had made an arrangement. So Garuda is to come and he's to eat serpents in that island, wherever they were staying, Ramanakadvipa. And then the serpent said, this is too much. He is creating havoc here. Every one of us is so terrified by him. Every day he is doing this. So what we should do? We should, one day when Garuda was peaceful, maybe after having a big meal, he was peaceful. Then some serpents approached him and they said, dear Garuda, you are really creating so much disturbance for us every day. So why don't we do this? Every month we'll make an offering to you at the base of a tree. One serpent will be given to you as an offering and you don't please come and disturb our. So Garuda says, fine, no problem. He was very happy with it. He said he will take one serpent in a month, like that. So they were making dutifully, they were making the offerings to Garuda, but Kaliya, he was so arrogant. He said, why should Garuda eat? I will eat. So he would eat all the offerings before Garuda could come and claim them. And thus Kaliya was directly defying the carrier of Vishnu, that is Garuda. So Sridhar Swami is saying the offering was given at the base of a tree by the serpents and who were at the mercy of Garuda. And they were to be eaten, and they were ordained Nirupitaha to prevent their own killings. So further, these serpents would offer these respective shares which were given by those persons to Garuda. Suparna, Garuda was also called Suparna. Suparna means his golden wings. The serpents were afraid of him. Gopithayatmanaha means for their own protection. Kaliya was absorbed in intoxication of his arrogant pride, and due to his poisonous strength, Vishavirya Madavishtaha. So he was totally arrogant, and Kalia, absorbed in this intoxication, he tried to take their offerings. So the son of Kadru, Kalia, he disregarded Kadarthikritya, or he did not care about Garuda. So Sridhar Swami is saying that another explanation offers that offering that had a connection among the serpents, it was one single serpent among the serpents who was given by the people who were snakes and were food for Garuda and was arranged for Garuda. All the serpents would offer their respective share. Only Kalia would not offer anything. Rather, he would eat the offering, though it was given by others. Sanatana Goswami and Jiva Goswami, they say that this is one unit of the three verses of Kalia, the son of Kadru, Garuda, the son of Vinata, who is a sister of Kadru. Hence, both Kalia and Garuda were cousin brothers. So, once in every 15 days, Parvani, the snakes used to individually offer Garuda specially prepared fruits, roots under a tree so that he would not eat them and to ensure their protection. Kalia directly disrespected the Garuda, and other snakes on Ramanaka Island informed Garuda about Kalia's arrogant behavior. So Garuda was told that this is arrogant fellow, Kalia is eating everything. O king, the greatly powerful Garuda, who is very dear to the Supreme Lord, became angry when he heard of this. Desiring to kill Kalia, he rushed towards the serpent with tremendous speed. So he wanted to kill Kalia. He's saying, how dare you? So Sanatana Goswami and Jiva Goswami say, anyone who would become angry at a person who obstructs offering to the king. So Garuda is called Bhagavan because he was endowed with all the powers. He was such a powerful personality. He was also the best follower of the Lord, Bhagavat Priya. Like the Lord, he quickly came to punish the wicked Kalia. He rushed close, Samapadravat, determined to kill him, though Kalia was insignificant because he had arrogance and nature of disrespecting the Lord through his deep mood of ignorance. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says Garuda heard all about how Kalia ate the offerings meant for him through a snake informant. So somebody had informed Garuda. So Garuda swiftly flew down upon Kalia, who had the weapons of poison raised with his numerous heads to counteract. Showing his ferocious tongues and expanding his horrible eyes, Kalia then bit Garuda with weapons of his fangs. So Kalia was also fighting. On the strength of his deadly poisonous fangs were the only weapons Kalia had. Besides, Kalia's tongues were also fearsome. We saw in the past times he had expanding, terrifying eyes also, which also turned things to ashes by their glance. That much poison he had. Thus, he was a formidable opponent. He was not just an ordinary snake. Regardless, however, there was no match to powerful Garuda, who was immune to Kalia's poisons. So imagine, Garuda was eating snakes. The poisonous snakes, poisons are all within the snake, isn't it? And he's eating them. Has any poison going to affect him? No. So Kalia's weapons were useless against Garuda. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says from a great distance, Kalia could spit venom at his enemy, and at a short range, he could bite with his terrible fangs. Also, he had ferocious tongue and loud hissing and terrible eyes. So whatever it is, Garuda was unbeatable. Angry son of Tarksha. Now Tarksha means Kashyapa Muni's another name is Tarksha. Why? Because Marichi's name is Triksha. Triksha's son is Kashyapa. Kashypa's son is Kashypa's two sons actually. Both are his sons. One is Kalia is also his son, and Garuda is also his son, because they are both born of his two wives, Kadru and Vinata. We will see how his angry son of Tarksha moved with Garuda moved with overwhelming speed in repelling Kalia's attack. That terrible powerful carrier of Lord Madhusudana struck the son of Kadru with his left wing, which shone like gold. Like I said, Suparna means Garuda. Garuda's another name is Suparna. Suparna means it's like golden wings. So his left wing, he is so powerful as Garuda's wings. When Garuda flies, all the Samaveda all come out from his wings like that. And it's not an ordinary bird. He's not an ordinary eagle. So when he flies like that, and his beautiful wings are golden in color. It's mentioned that once when there was a Brahmastra thrown at him, or Indra threw his Vajra, I think, yeah, while the fight for the nectar was happening. And then he did not want to displease or he did not want to show that there was no Shakti in the Shakti weapon of Indra. So he dropped one of his golden feathers, which fell somewhere in near South India, somewhere in Mangalore. There's a river called Sauparnika River, and there's also a Garuda Guha, which is now maintained by ISKCON. There is one small little cave where they say that Garuda was resting there, and that one of his wings, Suparna, that is one of his beautiful golden wings, fell there, and that is near. It's near Mangalore somewhere. There's one very wonderful place that's not coming to my mind. The name of the deity who is meant for, like Saraswati, she is like that. She's meant for Vash. There's a place near Mangalore. I don't remember exactly the name now. That's not coming to my mind. So but his powerful wings, he beat Kalia with just one of his wing, and Kalia was extremely distraught. Then he knew that he could not fight with Garuda, and thus he took the shelter of a lake in the river Yamuna. Now, how did he know about this? Garuda could not enter the lake. Indeed, he could not even approach it. So this was told by Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. He's telling him. So Sanatana Goswami is saying that Garuda was the son of great sage Kashyapa, Taraksha, Putra, and so an imposing might is also implied. That means from his father he got all his Shakti or power. Also, he is famous as an associate of the Lord with a great strength and bravery. More so, he was an intensely angry Manyuman. Because of Kalia's offense, and thus his speed was overwhelming, Prachanda Vega, very fast is Garuda, is faster than the snake. And he had on him the seat of the Lord who killed the demon Madhusudana Asana. Therefore, his prowess was intolerable. Ugra Vikramaha. Though Kalia was also Kashyapa's son, but he was not a devotee, and therefore he is described as the son of. He is not described as son of Kashyapa. He is described as son of Kadru. Why? Because his bad temperament attributed to his mother's side. And Garuda powerfully hit Kalia with his left wing, which was effulgent like gold, beautiful and struck very hard. And Kalia was his natural enemy. And therefore, consequently, Garuda soundly defeated him, but did not kill him, though, because after all, he was his brother. So to save his life, Kalia fled to the Yamuna river. And it was difficult for Garuda, let alone others, to see or to enter this Durasadam because of the depth. So even in Yamuna, there was a lake which was very, very, very deep. So it was difficult for anyone else to go to that depth. So for Garuda, there was even more a formidable reason for him to have not access to the lake. And what is that? That is going to be revealed in the next verses. In that very lake, Garuda had once desired to eat a fish. Now this is going to be explained. So fish being after all is normal food, and although forbidden by sage Saubhari, who was meditating there within the water, Garuda took courage and feeling hungry seized the fish. So fish is Garuda's natural food, and he had come there to eat, and Saubhari Muni said, Garuda, you are not supposed to eat fish from this river. But Garuda said, I'm going to obey this rishi. Henceforth, I will not come here. But now that I'm so hungry and I see that there's one big fish, I will just take that fish and go. So Shukadeva, Srila Prabhupada's purport and Sridhar Swami explains that Shukadeva explains why Garuda could not approach the river in Yamuna, in that lake. So that lake is where Saubhari Muni was performing his austerities underwater. So Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and Vasudhanath Chakravarti Thakur are saying this happened 24 yuga cycles previously when Emperor Mandhata, an ancestor of Rama, ruled the earth. Now we are talking about Rama Avatar. We know Krishna Avatar happened in which yuga? In the yuga 28th yuga cycle, isn't it? Krishna Avatar. But Ramatar happened in 24 Yuga cycles, if you remember. So in one day of Brahma, the 24th Yuga cycle, Ramachandra appears. 28th Yuga cycle, Krishna Chandra appears. So in this 24th Yuga cycle, before Rama, there was his ancestor who was Emperor Mandata. At this time, Mandata's time, this Saubhari Muni was doing tapasya in the river Yamuna, in this lake underneath water. An aquatic creature like fish, Jalacharam, is eatable by Bhaksham, and desirable Ipshitam food for birds like Garuda. So Garuda came there to eat. Nonetheless, the words of the sage sage Saubhari, he was doing tapasya in that time. Who was the emperor? Emperor was Mandata, who was ruling that kingdom. And this sage Saubhari was doing his tapasya. And that is said that on the other hand, Saubhari Muni is forbidding a much greater personality to eat his normal food did constitute an offense. So now Saubhari Muni unknowingly is doing two big offenses. What are the two offenses? One is he dared to give an order to a supremely exalted soul like Garuda. Garuda was much, much higher than Saubhari Muni. He was just a sage who was doing tapasya within water, but Garuda was a personal carrier of the Lord. He was such a great personality, and Saubhari Muni dared to give him an order. And second offense was he obstructed Garuda from satisfying his hunger. Garuda was already very hungry, and he had come there. That was his natural food, ordained to him by the Lord, and still the Saubhari Muni obstructed him from satisfying his hunger. So Srila Prabhupada's purport, now seeing how the unfortunate fish in that lake had become most unhappy at the death of their leader. So now this big fish, which unfortunately Garuda carried, was the leader of their fish. So the fish became very much unhappy at the death. And Saubhari is now looking at the unhappiness of the fish. He uttered a falling curse, and under the impression that he was mercifully acting for the lake's residents. Now you see how he tried to save the fish. And later on, when Kalia came, what happened? All the fishes had to die because of the poison. So what was the use of his curse? Anyway, so we will see. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that when our so-called compassion does not tally with the order of the Supreme Lord, it merely causes a disturbance. Thus the sage, he made another offense. And what was that offense? The fish were wretched because they could not do anything, being fish. And he saw Drishtva, the fish, was especially grieving because their protector fish, the big fish, was being eaten up. So the implied meaning is that as distinct from other fish, that fish was different from the other fishes. And the sage, recognizing the fish's helpless position, though compassionate, the sage committed another offense by being devoid of good judgment, by audacity, etc. And he ended up cursing the great transcendental bird, Garuda, because Saubhari had forbidden Garuda to come into that lake. Kalia moved in and made his headquarters there, and this spelled doom for all the lake's residents, not only fish, everything else, which the Saubhari was trying greatly to protect. Everybody else now was doomed. Hence, it implied that the mercy of a great offender might produce the opposite intended effect. So what was the intention of Saubhari Muni? To protect the fish. But not only the fish, even the vegetation, the birds flying over, everyone had to be died. So opposite effect happened. Why? Because of this curse of Saubhari, Kalia took shelter of the lake. Kalia knew the reason why he was safe in the lake from Garuda, who was forbidden to enter the lake because of Saubhari Muni's curse. If Garuda ever enters this lake, this was his curse. What was his curse? If Garuda ever enters this lake and eats the fish here, he will immediately lose his life. What am I saying is the truth? What I am saying is the truth. Of all the serpents, only Kalia came to know of this affair. It's mentioned in by one of our acharyas that how only Kalia came to know about this affair is Narada Muni told him this. And in the fear of Garuda, he took up residence in that Yamuna lake, and later Lord Krishna drove him out of it. If Garuda disregards my words, even though he is an associate of the Lord and enters this lake and eats fish, immediately he will die. This was the verse given by Saubhari Muni. And Kalia heard this story from his relatives residing in that lake. Actually, here is saying it's relatives. but there it said that it was this. Who was that? He heard of this story from Narada Muni, and he took shelter there. Due to his bad association with the fish, Sarvari Muni developed attachment and affection and lost his power, discrimination, cursed and exalted devotee of the Lord Vishnu. And only Kalia knew what happened before, because of looking everywhere for a place to live where there is no fear due to hatred or fear of Garuda, and because of a great fortune accumulated over thousands of lifetimes, he was banished by Krishna, who brings about full bliss. So here we see Kalia knew about this lake, and because of his because he was Vedashira Rishi, he had accumulated over hundreds of lifetime great fortune, and therefore he was finally banished by Krishna, who brings about full bliss. So that also we saw in our Sharad Prabhu had given this reason. So as in the 9th canto described, Sarvari Muni married many beautiful women and suffered greatly in the association, but because he had once become glorious by taking shelter of Yamuna river in Vrindavan, he was ultimately delivered. So Sarvari Muni's also life history we discussed this in the 9th canto. When we heard about the 9th canto, how Sarvari Muni once saw the fish mating, and he got inclined to marry and came out of the lake and married 50 daughters of Mandhata, the emperor at that time, and he then enjoyed their association. He took up a youthful body, enjoyed greatly in their association, and then again he suffered also because of his what was his main duty, to go back home, back to God, and to take up to do austerities and penances, and lost everything. He went away from his mark, from his path, because of his great offense. But later on, because he was meditating and taking shelter of Yamuna river, he ultimately, after many, many years, he gave up everything and went back again to his the original austere path. So thank you all very much. I'm sorry I took a lot of time today.
No, you did not be sorry. It's all my fault, really. I didn't realize it all, actually. I totally forgot about that. You had to talk, Sorry about that.
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, dear devotees. Hare Krishna.
So if any questions, we'll take care of next time. So let's conclude the class then.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So wonderful class, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Taladala Dadaini. Taladala Dadaini. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatankanakalaye. Shilatankanakalaye. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha. Hridaye Narsimha, Bahir Narsimha, Hridaye Narsimha. Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapadye. Tava Karakamalavare Nakha Adbhut Shringar Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadhrita Narhari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Ho Narsimhadev 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 Jai Ho Narsimhadev Jai Ho Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jai Ho Prahlad Maharaj जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह भगवान की जय हो। भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय हो। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय हो। सर्व डिवोटियों की जय हो। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। Thank to all devotees.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you, Archana Mataji. Wonderful, wonderful class. And thank you
Thank
all
you,
of you
Prabhu.
also.
Thank you.
Played the skit, Very good.
Thank you.
I'm very encouraged.
Prabhu.
We'll do again one more.
Thank you
Thank you.
प्रभु जी। धन्यवाद प्रणाम to all.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
was
Dandavat
wonderful,
pranam.
enlivening. Thank you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Chandra bhai.
Long
Thank you,
spell of
Ganesh ji.
classes by Archana Mataji. Next week onwards, you'll be hearing me.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you.
you
Hare
very
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.